Hello. Hello, and welcome, geeks, to another episode of Geekin Out. All right, I'm so excited. Tonight is my night to host this special episode of Geekin Out, where we will be talking about all things Buffy as our main topic. But let's introduce our illustrious panel of hosts this evening. So first of all, there's me. Hey, the host, Chris Steele. Hey. You guys know me. I am the operations guy, the resident. I mean, I'm going to say the resident Buffy nerd because I'm.
No, you can't call that.
The one
you can't call that. Don't do that.
No.
One of the
wrong
Buffy
nerds. We're gonna edit that out.
All right, and we've also got Ricky Z, Ricky Aware. AKA our social media guru goddess. We love her. We've got Julian, who is our resident sci-fi fantasy nerd. I mean, all of us are, but like he's the main one. We've got Duryea, who is he's producer, podcast extraordinaire. Like we love this man. We love this man. And also joining us tonight on this episode, we've got joining us from Dallas, Texas, by way of Atlanta, Georgia. We are welcoming back our current reigning Miss Teen Appointed One, Justin Draper.
That's not my title.
Yes.
That is not my title. I'm the current reigning Miss Teen Anointed One, Season 1. Justin Draper. Thank you.
Oh, I said appointed. Sorry, anointed. The anointed. I'm sorry.
It's
been a long day. I'm misreading you already.
Thank you.
All right. Well, now that we've introduced our panel and we already know what we're going to be talking about tonight, let's go ahead and take just a short little break for our first little segment and do like a little break for advertisement.
That is Shadowrun missions from Rim Alternus. We do live action role play every Tuesday, including me and we've had panelists from our sister podcast, Talk It Out, who are on there. It's really fun. It's a great nerd time. I play a mage. Last episode, I got kicked off the mission. So
what did you do?
What did I do? Like my character is like, he's based off of like, in my head, he's like Gambit, where he's kind of street, but he's on a good guy team. Mm-hmm. But like something really happened, like a dude punched me and nobody in my team stood up for me. Like he knocked me out like after the roll and nobody stood up for me. So when my character woke up, I was like, okay, what happened? And they were like, oh, you got punched. And I was like, and what did y'all do? And they were like, nothing. So I like kirked out. And then I kirked out and the girl was like, the leader of the group was like, look, right now, maybe our next mission, but for this mission, you got to go. And I was like, fine, fuck you.
Bro code.
Right, bro code. It was so funny though, because bro code says that if your friend gets into a fight, no matter whether they're right or wrong, you have to like take up for them. But it was a street thing. It was funny though. It played really well for entertainment. But anyway, go ahead, Chris.
Okay, well, so we're going to get into our first little segment of the night. The first segment, we always do a little section about what we're geeking out about currently. So we're all going to talk about what's been geeking us out recently. And I think I will start with Justin, our guest.
Oh, me? Oh, I can't.
Yes.
Oh, yay. Okay, so I am very excited because this is slightly old news, but if you haven't heard about it, now you're going to hear about it. The Hocus Pocus reunion that happened, plus the announcement of the sequel.
Yeah.
Yes.
a thing.
Yes.
So I'm super, super excited about that. I know we're like a week and some change out from, Halloween that was passed, but I think that was just a huge, like, moment for the season. I think a lot of people needed that, and a lot of people needed to hear that good news about the sequel as well. I was just over the moon about it.
Did you know that the original like was released in like the summer, like July or something like that?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, because I think at the same time, Nightmare Before Christmas was supposed to come out the same year, and they didn't want them to compete. So if it came out like at a not Halloween time, it'd be okay. It wouldn't be abnormal.
Yeah, and I think that's good. I think that's smart because you don't want to pigeonhole it as a holiday movie, and it kind of like made it more of a broadly accepted thing, and now it's just a permanent staple in anybody's, anything.
Definitely a cult classic. Yes.
It's crazy. I was thinking about like all the jokes in it that like resonate with adults too. As an adult now that I can see the jokes that I didn't see before, I think that's why it stands up so well. And as far as time is concerned, which is why you have like fully grown adults who are actually like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna see the Hocus Pocus thing.
Right.
That's before ABC Disney started to like filter a lot of things out. They would just produce it and then we'll give it the rating that it needs. But we won't steer it too much as far as that's concerned. They weren't so protective. Well, they weren't so protective of their properties, and so they didn't Disney Channel it too much. Like Halloween Town, stuff like that. It's
right.
A lot more mature content. Fantastic actors, because if you talk to some A-list actors now, try to talk them into doing a Disney produced anything, it's like unless it's a full-on animated like feature, then that's a different story. But if it's like the live action Disney stuff, it's like it's gonna have a really tight leash on it.
I just wanted to say, in addition to that, they did like this whole like hour of the Sanderson sisters. I didn't see it, but Jennifer Hudson was on it. So
of course.
Make sure whether you saw it or not, just know that she was there.
Good.
She was there. She was present.
She was there. All right. Well then, Jury just going. Next.
Oh, it's mine. I have a bunch of them. I have a bunch.
Sure.
Okay.
I know you've got a few, so let's get through.
I know. I'm gonna start with this. So I didn't know this. This was apparently announced last year, but there's this girl named Latasha Lynch, and she's playing the first not only black but female queer 007. Now, don't get it confused. She's not playing James Bond. James Bond is still in the movie. He's still a part of the movie. She's playing 007, which you have to explain to some people. 007 is just like an agent title,
right?
Like Dr. White, or it's something like that. Yeah. So basically, since James Bond, since he left, she's taking up the mantle. I saw this trailer, bro. When I tell you, I saw that trailer and I almost kicked myself in the face. There's two women. I always like seeing. I don't know why. I like seeing women fight. I don't know why. It's great, like a good, not each other. I mean, I don't mind that either. But I like seeing. It's a Buffy episode. Clearly, we all like seeing girls who can kick people's ass.
Right.
Yeah. Man, these two girls were like kicking people's ass in heels, stilettos, like stilettos. I was like, yo, this is gonna be epic. But of course, there are those people who are trolling her because she is all of these things. And apparently, it got so bad last year that she had to delete all of her social media accounts. So I want to remind everybody who's out there who's not like black, queer, or anything that's like marginalized, just shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. Like if you don't have anything productive to say, I'm sorry. If you don't have anything positive to say, productive, like just so there's enough with that negativity. Like people are tired of that negativity. Like, bro, we're trying to be happy and be lit and make a little money and just be quiet. If you don't want to be part of people's happiness, just be over there. Just be quiet.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Go ahead.
Number two.
No, Ricky's about to say something. Ricky's about to say something.
Oh, I'm so
sorry. I was just mention like Latasha Lynch was in what was it? Not Captain America. No, Captain Marvel.
That's why she looked so familiar. She was the Rambo. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yes, and also she was on another show called Star-Crossed, which was like based off a book that was like a continuation.
That was Shonda, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Shonda. But it was like no, it wasn't. So it was based off a book, and there was a continuation of Romeo and Juliet after they died, and so she was in that, which was sadly canceled after one season. But we'll talk about that another time.
Okay. So now I'm moving. Okay, great.
So number two.
Number two, Johnny Depp just got asked to resign as Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts movies. So this is the story. Apparently, there was a news article in the UK which labeled him like a domestic abuser to Miss Amber Heard. He filed a lawsuit, like a liable lawsuit, basically saying like, this is slander. So the lawsuit basically was going to determine whether there was enough factual evidence to back up her claims. He wasn't charged with anything, nothing. It's just basically they said, yes, there's enough factual information for you to be called these things in this article. After that, Warner Brothers asked him to step down. Some people are saying, he wasn't charged, not enough evidence. So there's like this back and forth going on about it, and maybe that she was abusive too. I just wanted to put that out there. I don't really have any opinions yet because I don't like to say my opinions about stuff like this because I wasn't there. Like when it comes to things like this, like I just go like, I hope that works out for the best for whoever, because I feel like when people make comments and statements about like domestic violence situations or abusive, any sort of situations, when you weren't there, you might not be helping the situation.
No.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah. I haven't necessarily like gotten too involved with this, like dive deep into researching it because it seems like a lot.
It does seem like a lot. I didn't even know what was all going on.
From all of the accounts, I mean, it just seems like there's been abuse on maybe both sides, and they're both just in a very toxic relationship. And
yeah, I think that's really what it is.
But he has also made it very public, right? That he's also made it very public that like when he drinks or when he does drugs, like there's a monster inside of him, and that's.
Can I ask a question though? Because I read the article about him and her being involved in the abuse. Warner Brothers produces Aquaman, correct?
Yes.
But she's being asked back to play her part in the Aquaman sequel.
Mm-hmm.
So even though these allegations came out, he's the only one that's being punished by the studio. I find that interesting.
Mm.
Well, I think that's the.
No, go ahead, Julian.
I think that's just like the aftermath of like, because we are saying that there is abuse clearly from both sides. Sorry if I sound a little strange today, but it's these teeth. But clearly there's like abuse from both sides, kind of a thing. But like you kind of always vilify the man anyway, so like kind of
right.
Like how this is kind of going, just because they usually get the front end of those things, and that's not to say that like perhaps he deserves it more than she does. We don't really know,
right?
Obviously, like not knowing means that like we should treat them both fairly, but at the same time, I can see where this is coming from, just because of traditionally that's usually how we handle these things.
Justin, did you want to say anything? Because Justin won't say nothing unless we ask him.
No, I don't have any comment on that. I was just, I did do a quick Google, and I can confirm that Warner Brothers is the production company behind Aquaman and also the Wizarding World of Harry Potter series.
Thank you.
Thank you for our Googles. Thank you for.
That's where he got that title from. Okay, right. Okay, so my next one, I only have two more. I finally watched. I only have two more. I finally watched.
I thought it was only three.
I told you I had a few. A few is three, but I got two more.
Three.
I got two more though. I got two more.
Okay.
You see my voice went up
several.
now. Okay. All right, I have several. So, all right. This next one is this. I finally watched Black is King. Now, anybody that knows me, let me tell you why. I don't watch anything when it's popping, because then everyone else is like, you hear people like, oh my God, it's the best thing you've ever seen. It's like, oh my God, it's trash. You hear so many opinions that it's really hard to formulate your own. I feel like it's hard to go into a viewing experience when you're hearing so many things with a fresh plate, right? So what I did was I decided to give it enough distance from when it came out, because I like Beyonce, and I'm not letting none of y'all ruin any of my Beyonce experiences.
That's valid. That's valid.
One.
I mean,
And you will not do it for me, because me and Beyonce will come at you together. Okay, it's not happening.
I worship
finally watched
Beyonce.
it. Right.
So
I finally watched it. I did get a lot of slack for not watching it, but I'm glad I waited because, oh my God, I literally had a good little time. I had a great time. Look, it was amazing. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and then it was everything I thought it was going to be. I expected more of Beyonce. Oddly, I expected more of her, but I was kind of glad that it wasn't there. It was so beautiful to see her humility in those moments where she just sat back and looked cute while somebody else sang a song and then flashed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I loved it. The story was great. I really like how they tied it in with. It reminded me of that movie that Michael Jackson did. Moonwalker, whatever. Moonwalker, right? He did a visual album or a movie like that where he was like him and these two little kids and this evil guy with the glove. I don't know. But anyway, I really loved it. It was dope.
Turned into the car. Oh God, it was so good.
I like it.
Look at that comment though.
How does it compare to something like Janelle Monáe's visual album? Who is Janelle Monáe? Okay, moving on. Moving on.
No. Okay.
What was that for?
No. Okay.
You know, violence is never the answer. Okay.
Look, let me tell you this. I've never listened.
This is a time of healing.
I don't know Janelle. I know who she is. I've seen her in 2 movies. I liked her performance in one of the movies much better than any other movie. I've heard her sing. She can sing. I don't like her music. I do not like her music. It's not for me. It's not bad. It's great music. It's just not for me. It's not for me. I like, if you're gonna be ratchet as hell, I don't really like to be preached at in my music. I don't like, and also she's very like Pharrell with her music. Happy, you know, and that's not me. Like I like that, but it's not me. But she's cool. I don't know how it compares to Janelle Monáe's visual album, but I can tell you what it did do. It put me in a great mood. I felt super inspired afterward. I just love how she continues to she said she was going to retire when she was 30, when I was like 15. Beyonce said she was going to retire at 30.
Girl, bye.
God, that didn't stay. Okay. All right. My last one.
Fourth
one. Okay. This is my last one. So I finally am watching Charmed, the 2nd season of the new one. After all of we talked about the controversy that happened with the 2 shows going back and forth. And I must say, they are doing the damn thing. They are doing. Everyone who says that the new Charm is whack, you're liars.
No,
you're
absolutely solid.
It is amazing. Like the whole storyline. I love how everything they're doing right now, other than the whole the youngest girl in love with the demon thing. Yeah. There are some similarities. There are absolutely some similarities where they're biting off of the original Charm, but it's super solid. Like, I love the fact that they keep certain aspects, like the fact that the 2 youngest girls, their father is a deadbeat dad, which was also the thing in the original Charm. Like, their father was like an absentee father, stuff like that. You can get to talk about real issues, but the magic is dope. The storylines are dope. The villain is dope. The women empowerment is dope. Everybody's sexy, especially the lead with her beautiful melanated ass. Man, there was. Did you see it? Have you seen it, Rakia?
Yes.
Do you remember the episode where Maggie was supposed to get married? Melanie's whole outfit in the wedding with that long. I was like, oh my God, I might have to marry a woman. I was so excited. She was beautiful. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. If you haven't watched Charmed, please go watch it and give it a fair chance. It doesn't it doesn't take away anything from the old Charm either. It's just its own thing and it's dope. That's all I got.
Okay.
It's definitely holding its own.
Is that all?
Thank you, Jerry.
Don't do that.
Can we go to the all-you-can-eat buffet now?
Don't do that.
I'm just going to go to the all-you-can-eat buffet. So,
don't do that.
All right, we'll just go counterclockwise. We'll go Rakia.
Okay.
All right. Goodness, what am I? Okay, so I am young adult teen at heart still, forever and ever, amen.
Forever.
Forever and ever.
Period.
if I had the time, I would sit and rewatch some Degrassi right now. So
You and Degrassi though.
I love Degrassi. There's something about the Canadians and their teen drama. It just sits right with me.
They just get it so right.
They do. But like, so there's this new show on Netflix called Julie and the Phantoms, which is based off of like a show in Brazil. So like a girl who's a singer and a songwriter.
I saw a preview for that.
Forms a band with like these 3 dead guys, like they're about around the same age. Yes, it's really good. So like I'm just saying, this is something I've been watching lately. Also, the Queen Gambit.
So the Queen's Gambit.
Yes.
Oh, the chess one.
Yes. So not necessarily like supernatural and that, but it's definitely geeky because it's talking about chess. So it is. So if you haven't seen the Queen's Gambit on Netflix, it's a miniseries. Definitely check that out. It's about girl who's an orphan and just like her rise into the chess world, and it's really well done. Acting is excellent. So if you have not seen that yet, definitely do that. And then is there anything else I'm watching right now? I think if anything, I'm falling asleep to like watching The Shield. What's it called?
The Shield.
Agents of Shield.
Agents of Shield. Yeah.
Oh.
Right now, like I was never really into the show when it started initially airing.
I couldn't get into it either.
So like right now, it's good background noise to fall asleep too. So, and when I catch things that like connected to the movies that I've seen, then it's cool. But other than that, it's background noise.
Have you seen all of the Netflix stuff from Marvel?
I was really only into to Jessica Jones.
Of course, because you're a girl. Listen, I mean you're a woman. Listen.
You're a woman.
Thank you.
Women.
I'm grown. Thank you.
Right, I'm sorry. I got into a lot of trouble for calling someone a girl recently, and I didn't realize that was a thing, and I will not do it again. I feel like Daredevil to me is like one of the most groundbreaking television shows in its genre, period, ever.
I started that. I need to.
Great.
I started it like towards the end of them like really being on there. So if I were to search right now, I probably wouldn't be on there now. And what was his name?
The actor Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
No. So Jessica Jones and the other one, the one that she slept with.
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage. Which
they broke a bed.
Yes. Shut up, also, mainly because some of them we went to college with was on that show.
That's right. He was on that show. I was so mad when his character, that thing happened to him. I was so mad.
Right. Shout out to Jon Stewart.
Shout out. I don't know if we can say that right now. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know if we're supposed to say that.
Why not?
That's why I didn't say it.
I'm sorry.
Because I don't know. It's too late now. It's live.
Okay,
We on live internet.
I'm sorry. Shout out to my friend.
Shout out to my friend.
But that's what I've been geeking out about.
Okay, well then we'll move on to Julian.
Okay, what am I geeking out about? I'm mostly just coming off the high of Halloween, I guess. If you've like been on the IG for our IG, I can't talk to these things. You'll see we have some pictures up and stuff. I didn't really get to like go anywhere. Obviously, no one really did anything. I did have a friend who's like a performer, and they did like a brunch kind of a thing or like a show. So I did go to that. So it was I still got to get a little bit of a social experience with it, but it was cool because I put all this work into these costumes every year. It was nice to actually like get the chance to wear them. I did like a little photo shoot by myself, but it was whatever, It
was cute though.
And
they were so much work, and I was like, because we had decided like really last minute that we were going to do anything, just because the way that the times have been, it was really hard to like get any plans laid down, and usually every year it's like a big thing for me. So this year it was like down to like the wire, and it was like the week beforehand, and I was like, I was like a sewing fiend. I've never sewn so much stuff like so quick in my life, and I was like, this is what it must feel like to be like a fashionista or something. But it was pretty cool. But that's like my biggest high. I'm kind of just riding off of it now. And then the other thing is like also I guess in the Halloween spirit, I'm a little late to it, but The Haunting of Bly Manor. Oh my god, it's so fucking good. It's so good. I'm out here crying like every day, but it's so good. Like it's creepy. It's like heartfelt. It's really nice. If you get if you haven't gotten the chance to watch it still, and you're like still in the spooky kind of mood, go for it. Haunting of Bly Manor. And then I guess
I don't know anything about that. I think it's on Netflix, right?
Yeah. It's just it's kind of like about a haunted house, I guess. But
y'all
really
like that kind of stuff? Haunted house?
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
I don't.
I was
I mean, you don't like it because you're scared of it.
I'm scared of it.
That's good. I wish I got scared by stuff like that. There is some stuff I
me.
can't watch though.
It doesn't scare me. I don't find it scary at all. It's really for the drama of it. But like that's the thing. They put a nice drama twist in there that you're not really like that. Like that genre doesn't normally have. And I'm just like, okay, this is nice. So
Right.
It'll kind of keep you. It's worth trying. If you like it, you might like it. You might not, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But this mostly. Oh, and the other thing is, WoW players probably know, but WoW has been free this past weekend, so it's been like really terrible. Because I'm like, Julian, don't do it. You have other things to do. Sorry guys, I can't. So I'm like, you have other things to do. Like you can't be out here playing WoW all day and things like that. But I'm like, but they're giving it to you for free, and it's only 3 days, so I might as well, But like, it's a void. So I did like pick it up a little bit, and I got back into it a little bit. And I'm like, World of Warcraft. It's like it's bringing out all these emotions and all these memories.
God, right.
And it's really
I
terrible.
feel the same way about Pokemon. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it
really
just feels
do.
it feels like an addiction that like I haven't really like felt in a while. So it's god. So I'm trying
You
to
really do deserve a spot on this show. I mean,
So like, it's been calling to me. So I'm resisting the urge to actually like resub. Not gonna happen. I have to because I'll get lost. But it's been really nice. It's been really nice. And any WoW lovers, like honestly, like I'm just getting to like BFA, the Battle for Azeroth. It's like the storyline's really nice. I'm all here for like that stuff. That part is like really cool. Like I love that shit. So it's really cool. That and like the revamps. Oh my god. Because I'm like an old school WoW player. I played that shit when it first came out. This was like ages ago. That game is so different now, and it has evolved so much. And it's really really weird because it's evolved with the times because the genre itself has changed and like it has changed with it. So it's been pretty cool to see. But like I was as I play WoW now, even like because they go back, they just released Classic actually this past summer. So they re-released the original, like when I first played it, they re-released that so you could play that. I haven't gotten to that one yet because I'm also not trying to reset to that. But right, trade one for the other, it's the same shit, But so I'm trying not to do that. But it's still it's really nice. But it's cool to like see how much it's changed and how far it's come. It's really, it's kind of like. I don't know. It's like kind of like growing up with like a comic book almost, I guess, but it's more of a video game. But it's pretty cool.
Ooh,
That's
okay.
all. But yeah, I've been
That's
like
all.
doing.
See, these aren't that
Okay.
bad.
Yeah, they aren't. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'll talk about what I'm geeking out about. Well, first of all, I did want to clarify there's a comment from Thomas, and I love you, Thomas. He's my fiance. It says, Chris was in Vampire Diaries and Immortals. That is not, I mean, I was an extra. You have to really scan. You got to really
got
scan.
paid.
No,
gotta
right.
Maybe a
claim that.
featured,
Yeah, but he's never even seen it.
featured extra was the best I ever got.
Wait, what is the Immortals? Why can't I place that? Is that movie with the?
No, it's like
It's the sequel series to, or the spin-off series from Vampire Diaries.
No,
he meant the
No.
originals.
The
Originals. That's what he
Yeah.
meant.
The
That's
original.
Oh, he meant
Yeah.
the originals. Okay,
He
got
meant
you.
that. Okay.
Oh, that's the
So I
spin-off
was in,
series. Sorry. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
I was in both of them just like very minorly. If you
Okay.
want to see me, you gonna have to just like magnifying glass that
Look,
shit.
I'll do a rewatch just for that.
He said
Do you
he
know
like
which
walked-
episode it
he
was?
walks in front of the front. He like.
Can you tell me what
Uh,
episode it is? I'm definitely gonna go find it.
I will do
I know a
it.
couple of episodes, but I mean, I was in like several, but like most of it, I'll tell you. And this is why being an extra or a featured extra is like bullshit, because you'll be doing all this shit for like 14 hours of filming, 14 hours, and then you watch the episode and it ain't there. What you did there.
Ooh, that app is wide.
Same line.
They're like
12
sitting over there,
times.
peas and
Like,
carrots,
you
peas and
just-
carrots, peas and carrots.
You walk in this line 12 times. They film it so many times. When you watch the episode, you ain't there.
Oh,
It's
no.
They
not
don't even
there.
show you walking. They just show the beginning part.
I want to respond. I want to respond to Julian right now, saying peas and carrots, peas and carrots. Listen, you would never want to be on stage with me, because if you came up to me, like if I'm in character and you came up to me saying peas and carrots, what the hell is wrong with you?
What funny you talking about?
I'm gonna be that actor who's like, what are you talking about peas and carrots? Crazy ass out of here.
Peanut butter and jelly, bitch. Hello.
Shut up.
That's
You
what I
gotta
was
be making
told
some real words.
Right. Some actual phrases, please.
Some actual phrases and just be muttering them under your breath. Anyways, okay, so I just wanted to point that out real quick. But what I'm geeking out about currently, there's a few things. Like one of them's very topical right now. I've been geeking out about the fact that we may have a Democratic president. I'm just saying. Like,
Bitch, I know we didn't want to.
Look, we
we
made a promise. We made a promise. Talking out people. We made a promise at the beginning of this show. I'm sorry, geeking out people. We made a promise that there was one topic we would not discuss on this platform. We have a whole other platform for this. I'm sorry, everyone at home who wants to talk about this, but we do not speak on politics here
we don't.
at Geeking Out. I'm so sorry. But if you want to talk about politics, every Thursday at 8 o'clock, same place, same time. All right. So other things you're geeking out about.
I'm also geeking out about, we just finished wrapping for the filming of Sorted Lives, the virtual Zoom play that I've been doing lately, and I am so excited to watch it this weekend. I'm going to plug it on my Facebook later tonight.
So you filmed it and they're going to like edit it and then just stream it?
Mm-hmm. For 3 nights. For 3 nights.
Like 3 nights
Super
straight
excited.
or at the same time every night?
No, 3 nights straight.
So you can watch it any time after they stream it?
I hope that's the way it works.
Okay.
And let's see. The third thing that I've been geeking out about lately is a new podcast called Scam Goddess. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Lacey. What is her name? Lacey. I'm sure you've heard of her.
The Lacey something.
She's a black actress.
Yes.
Named Lacey?
Scam Goddess.
I know Joanne the scammer. That's all I know.
Bitch. I'm familiar with that motherfucker.
Oh, sure.
Lacey something.
Literally, y'all. Because I love Lacey Mosley. Lacey Mosley.
She loves.
Anybody know her?
Scam. He loves a good scam.
She's a comedian. She's a comedian. She's been in some TV shows. She's been in some stuff. But oh my God, this podcast, I've literally been like, because I love true crime, but this is less like, murder. Like, and I love a murder podcast, but like, this is just like fraud, like Scam Goddess, and people that get away with it. And she is like, kind of like glorifying it. I mean, maybe not glorifying, but like calling out these scams, but also saying like, this is where you did great and this is where you fucked up. And it's the funniest freaking podcast I have ever listened to. I have literally been outside on the porch or in the bed, like with the headphones, like with the AirPods in, just like listening to it by myself and cackling, and everyone's like, what are you listening to? It's so funny. It's so funny. Scam Goddess. If you like podcasts, you like true crime, but you maybe don't want murder and you want something funny, Scam Goddess.
Is it time, Chris?
All right. So it is time now. Since we are, I'm finished with mine. Everybody's finished with theirs. We're going to go to another little break. Just a bit. Come back. Hey, everybody. My name's Chris.
I'm Duryea.
I'm Ricky Z.
Justin.
And Julian.
Have you heard about Anchor.fm? It's the easiest way to make a podcast. First off, it's free.
Oh, I love free, especially when we're talking creation tools that allow you to record and edit right from your phone and computer.
And Anchor will actually distribute your podcast for you. So as soon as you're finished recording, you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other platforms.
And you can make money off of your podcast with no minimum listenership.
It's basically a one-stop shop for everything you need. So head on over to anchor.fm and download the mobile app now. And make sure you come back and geek out with us. I'm so excited.
What is this, musical chairs? What's happening here?
Right?
I love it though.
Julian, you a jerk.
Well, this is the portion of our show. This is the beef of our show, or the buff of our show right now.
The buffet.
The buffet of our show, yes.
All you can eat buffet.
I'm just hungry today.
You're welcome.
I'm so excited to talk
Trademark.
about this
All right,
subject.
reserved.
Buffy, I mean, I'm just going to give you just like a little bit of a slight background of why I chose the show. I actually hated Buffy my entire life until I got to college. And then one of my serious longtime boyfriends, who actually he commented when like he saw that I was posted, he was like, "You're welcome." And I was like, I definitely have you to thank. He made me watch the show because I was like, Buffy, I don't.
Oh, a snob.
Right, I definitely was, because for some reason at my school it was not cool. You didn't watch.
It
Buffy.
wasn't cool. It
wasn't cool. I went to a
Right.
small private school and they were stupid and snobby. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And so I didn't watch it. And then at college, he was like, "No, watch it." And I was like, "Okay, we'll try." And I watched a few episodes. I was like, "This is interesting." Watched a few more episodes. I was like, "This is life." And then we watched the entire series plus Angel more than two times.
When you watched Angel, did you watch Buffy and then watch Angel, or did you Buffy, Angel, Buffy, Angel, Buffy, Angel, Buffy, Angel?
Okay, so the first time we just watched Buffy, and then we would watch Angel, and then the second time we watched it while they were happening together, and it was like,
right,
this is amazing.
different experience,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And
It's interesting because I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm excited.
No, I was going to say, and then anytime we didn't know of something to watch, we would watch that. And then Thomas and I got together, he's my fiance, Thomas. And we
Since he likes it, then he went and put a ring on it. See what I did?
So we watched the entire Angel Buffy thing, the whole thing all together. So I've seen it at least 3 times, but also whenever there wasn't anything on, we would just watch Angel or Buffy, like one of those things. So like random episodes here and there and here and there. So that's why I feel qualified at least to talk about the subject. Like I've seen it and it's amazing. So we're going to dive right into our, unless Duryea wanted to add to the intro there a little bit.
I didn't know there was like an intro specifically, because I don't know what you have planned, but so I'm just going to let you ride. I'm going to let you ride.
All right. So, these topics are all, they're all my favorites. So, I guess I'll start with, what is your favorite Buffy season? Like overall season. We're gonna do season.
Ooh, that's a good question. Tell us in the comments too, if y'all are Buffy fans. Tell us your favorite seasons.
Go ahead, Ricky.
Okay, so I would have to say my favorite season would be season 3.
Why?
We get Faith in that season. We get some Angel and Buffy moments, but I love the mayor.
Really Faith is Buffy's sister, correct?
No.
Why
is it always you, just Julian?
I don't know, but y'all know that I am
it's always you.
Okay,
it's
so
always you.
We are doing the full Buffy episode, and I am the
wait. Pause. We had 2 whole weeks.
Yeah, but
wait, hold up, Julian. Let me talk. We had 2 whole weeks where you could have did this homework. and you got the nerve to come out here and the first thing out of your mouth, and we ain't even got into the topic, isn't Faith her sister?
No.
These folks at home looking at us like we crazy. These folks at home like, what kind of podcast is this? Julie,
Unprofessional.
how would you ever confuse Faith with her sister?
No. So, okay, so like there's a lot of backstory with that. So we can talk about that in a second. But so my favorite season would be 3. That is, if you haven't seen Buffy, how dare you? I'm sorry, Julie. Anyways, but we get the mayor, we get Faith. Angel comes back because for a second he's gone for a second.
Spoiler alert! All through this episode. Spoiler alert, everyone.
Right, like at this point, it's been years. You've had
decades.
Honestly.
At least one.
Look, it's been in syndication. It was on Hulu. It's been
15 years.
Right, it was on Netflix.
No, it's been 15 years since it ended.
Yes. It was on Netflix for the longest time.
For about 10 years.
Right, like they stopped showing on Netflix probably like a couple years ago, honestly. And I think they brought it back to some other streaming site. You've had time. Anyways, so season 3, probably one of my favorites. As much as eventually I will talk about how I'll rag on Riley and the initiative. Season 4 had some gems to it. Season 4 had some gems. But yes, but to answer your question, Julian, Faith is not Buffy's sister. So, season 1, spoiler alert.
No, don't go into the whole backstory.
Oh,
not right now.
Hardcore.
Okay. She's another Slayer. She's another Slayer that
that's
was activated.
I thought. Okay, that's
right.
They're not related.
That's going to be the other guess.
Right.
If you don't know how, we'll talk about it if we have time. Because Chris said he got 8 topics.
Right. So J McDonald's 86. Thank you. Yes, season 4 had some good episodes. It had some like really memorable episodes. It had some gems. So go ahead. Sorry. Continue.
Okay. Debatable, but okay, we'll talk about it. All right. We'll go next to we'll go to Justin. Let's go to Justin.
Me.
Yes,
every time you're gonna do that every time.
Okay.
I just feel so privileged. For me, it would probably be, if I'm not wrong, 6, which is when we get like Dark Phoenix Willow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yo.
Yes. Literally the worst season with the best ending, in my opinion. But it was worth it.
Yes, and just all of that, because I'm a huge Willow stan, and for me to get all the way in on her and her developing lesbianism in the previous and like leading up to all of that, and like she soaks up all of the books and she's like it's great. It's great. I love it.
Dark Willow with some good Willow.
I want to comment on his real quick. The thing that's dope about season 6 was it really let you know how brilliant that writing team was. Like every season, the big bad is introduced at the first episode. Like back then, they used to do 24 episodes a season. So you have a lot of filler episodes, which is like episodes that had nothing to do with the main plot, just a fun episode.
Yeah,
now
like
they don't do that.
Of the week.
Monster
had nothing to do with anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But one thing about Buffy was every season, the first episode featured the new villain. Now, because spoiler alert, Buffy died at the end of season 5. The first episode of season 6 clearly had to address her being brought back from the dead. So none of us were expecting to get any information about the big bad. We were so focused on her, like how they gonna bring this bitch back.
Right.
And it was Willow that brought her back with some magic that was like really dope. But it didn't really, Willow has already done a bunch of dope shit, so we weren't really thinking much about it. Who knew that Willow was the villain the whole time? Like, and it was in our faces, and there were these other villains, these little guys who had robots and shit.
The
trio, but
the trio.
It was so great because the thing about Buffy, the way they wrote it was that the audience was in the same position as Buffy and her friends. We went through adolescence as they went through adolescence. So the fact that they didn't see Willow coming and neither did we, it's just like, it shows you how mind-blowing those fucking writers were, dude. So yes, otherwise season 6 was trash. But but no, I'm saying like I hated it because I was like, what is this about? Who is the villain? I was like, these ain't the villains. So I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Ooh.
All right. Well, I was and unless you had any more to add, Justin.
No,
Are you done?
I'm brief and to the point, so you're welcome.
Oh. Okay.
Duryea stole my thunder. He
You stop.
fine.
Ooh.
Fine.
So the shade wasn't directed at me. Well, damn.
No,
okay.
the shade was toward me. I knew who the shade was. Y'all didn't see the lights flicker?
All right. Well, Julian, do you have a concrete opinion on this point? A season that was the best.
Okay, as far
That is
as
the
the
question.
season that is particularly good, I do hear that actually. Unfortunately, Justin has kind of taken the one that I was going to go with as far as the ones that I do know, because it's like the ones that I know that we have talked about here, and so it's kind of the one that I myself have gotten like to kind of look into a little bit more was the whole Dark Willow thing, and that I am all for, because I love like. I love magic systems. That's like a huge thing for me. Cause like I love math and stuff like that, and like I love math and science. So like magic systems kind of all kind of intertwine with that usually, in its own way. So like seeing her like kind of go like AWOL with everything is not AWOL. Like go like Dark Phoenix. I guess was a good way of saying it. To see her kind of go all powerful with everything was really cool. I like that about it. As far as like the rest of the season, I wouldn't really know because I haven't like watched the whole thing. But I've seen like snippets of her in like that form and stuff, and it's like you can tell she's like badass. And first of all, who doesn't love a fucking badass fucking female character, Sylvanas Windrunner? I mean, like number one, only because WoW is fresh on my mind, obviously. But like there's very many of them. We all love them. So it's like obviously Jean Grey, Dark Phoenix. Like when you see them, it's like it's awesome. Mystique, we love a powerful like bitch.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a bad girl, but she's doing the thing. Like we like that shit.
Dark Willow made several points. She did.
Yeah, I think she's a big draw.
I stand Dark Willow just for a little bit. I mean,
I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
Also, that episode, the Dark Willow saga, those 3 episodes, man, I could have watched that shit for a whole season. But what I really liked about it was like how she got buck on everybody. She wanted to smoke from every single one of their asses.
She made several.
Now, let's be clear though. She ain't beat Buffy's ass though. She didn't do that. She didn't do that because she will not. But other than that, like she got bucked with she stood up to everybody. But let's be clear. Like I remember when that happened, where she like was like, "All right, I'll make myself strong" or whatever, and she was like, and Buffy said, "Are we really gonna do this?" That was basically like the Buffy version of.
Yeah, we are gonna do this.
What's up? And then she was like, "I've always wanted to try." Buffy was thinking in the back of her head, "Bitch, you must not realize this is my show, okay?" Willow halfway through was like, "All right, fine, I gotta distract this hoe."
Literally the only thing that saved Buffy was the fact that her name is on the top of that.
No, it's not. You don't know because you don't know because you don't watch the show.
Nope.
So silence that right there.
But no. Okay,
silence that right there.
I will say that Dark Willow was like that. She's popular. I know of Dark Willow.
You know of Dark Willow because of Buffy.
I understand. I am just like.
Okay, so before we go, because I'm next, right, Chris?
Yes.
But my favorite season. Before we go into my favorite season, let's just talk about how bad of a bitch Buffy is, because let's be clear. Like Buffy ain't one of those leading characters who's not a bad bitch. Buffy is like, in every sense, she's the best. She was the best friend to all of them. She was selfless. She died multiple times for the world. Okay, she didn't put her emotions first or her love life. Buffy and all, she was always whooping people's asses. Period.
Always.
She never backed down from a fight, even if she knew she was about to get clocked cold. The preacher, every time he clocked that bitch, she still wanted to smoke.
Right.
Bro, Buffy's judgy. Don't you ever sit up and with your face make any sort of assumptions as about her name. It's only reason. No, bro, she want to smoke. Get it together, Julie.
There was a whole episode where her powers were taken away. Her Slayer powers were taken away, and she still whooped ass.
Yes,
and she still whooped
ass. They trapped her in a house. They trapped her in a house where her Slayer powers taken away, and she went buck on that ass, bruh. And you would know that if you watched the show. Anyway, so my favorite season actually is season 5.
Thank you. Yeah.
My favorite season is season 5 because one of my favorite episodes is in. Well, actually, I'm lying. I have 2 favorite seasons, and I'm gonna pick 2 because I can. 5 is y'all gonna pick 2. Y'all just didn't.
Right.
5 is my favorite because of Glory.
Yes.
Let's be clear. Side note, I also like Claire Kramer because she was in Bring It On. But Glory is Glory's a great villain.
With Eliza, yes.
Glory is the villain who all of the villains in Buffy were villains that were the precursor to the villains that we love seeing in these Marvel movies nowadays. Granted, they were like that whole idea, that whole ship was steered by Joss Whedon anyway. But Glory was a character who wasn't trying to cause destruction. Yes, bring back Kendra, period. Glory wasn't trying to cause destruction. Glory was just trying to get home. When you have, before that, like you look at Rita and Zed, villains like that, where it's like, I just want to be evil and cause destruction. It's like, no, these are multidimensional characters. Glory had a motive. She felt wronged and betrayed. And she was just a person who wanted. God. And she was a god, yeah. So that's why I like that, and also everything about that season was dope. Like the way that the only thing I don't like about season 5, I would have liked it so much more if Dawn was always there.
Oh,
if Dawn was always there, and then we found out, because everything else in that series, in the entire series, was so planned out. I wish Dawn felt more like it was planned out from the beginning and not something they came up with. Because if Dawn was always there from the beginning, but there was just something off about her, and then we find out that would have been such a bigger like payoff. Because when everyone else found out she was the key, I was like, duh. Like, she's the only thing that's new about this situation.
But how much of a mindfuck was it to reveal her like that, though?
Justin trying to say something.
Mindfuck.
Right, yeah. I mean, that it was a good storyline. It was a good arc. That's one of my favorites. But it is very telling. Like from the beginning of the season, you have that introduced as like something weird and off-putting. Okay, well, something's not right. She doesn't belong. What's happening? So you have that kind of like from the jump. But if you think about it, previously in a lot of these types of shows, you wouldn't have had deep writing like that. From multiple seasons to then develop. If anything did happen like that, it was usually because somebody had gotten written off or they had gotten killed off, and that's what triggered that person leaving the show. It wasn't necessarily because it was like some grand story arc, like a Game of Thrones or a like something big and like Lord of the Rings, like that, where it's building up over multiple seasons and multiple story arcs. It's just kind of like, TV drama. Okay, we're gonna format it this way. While it's still good, it like that's kind of as good as it could have been, because anything else, you're like, oh, well, what does she do to get fired? And they just killed her off.
But then the only reason, I guess for me though, when you look at stuff like Willow, like the idea of her turning her lesbian had been in all these previous episodes, because when in the alternate reality one, her vampire version was a lesbian. And remember Angel, and then Buffy said something to Angel like, she would never be a lesbian. And Angel's like, actually becoming a vampire just enhances who you already are. And then she goes, what? And Angel's like, never mind. And then later she actually, comes out as a lesbian. It was like, it was planned. And they did that so well throughout all the series. I just wish that moment would have been as shocking for us as it was for Buffy, because they did that so well. So, but I still love that season. Tough Love is one of my favorite episodes. Willow was like, I don't care if this bitch is a god. You don't come from my boo, okay? I'm gonna fuck you up. And but my favorite season was season motherfucking 7. Oh my God. Seasons. I was like, please give me everything I need at the season finale, series finale. Please give me everything I need. Only thing was missing was Kendra. That was literally, if they had found a way to bring back Kendra, that I just would have been perfectly happy, and everything would have been perfect in my little world. But the reason I like that season was just the lore, how they really there's no other lore like the Slayer lore. I think that's very singular to this, and so to finally get that dug up and for us to just got immersed in it was so dope for me, and I was here for it. I can't wait for them to make another season of something post that episode, the last episode, because there's so many options that they have now. But that's it. Those are my 2 favorites.
So before we move on, I know for a lot of people that are Buffy fans, Dawn is a sore subject.
And she was annoying.
Yes, But the thing is, like, I never really felt that way about her.
That she was annoying?
Because she was the kid's sister. She's the kid's sister, and like you got Buffy, and everybody's in like college or like in their adult life, but she's like your tween sister.
Bitch, go get some friends.
Right. But
go get somebody to hang out with. Go do something, bitch.
But at the same time, though, considering that she's so awkward and she has this thing where like she knows her sister's like this big deal that no one else really knows. Like there's some awkward about her. Plus, I love Michelle Trachtenberg. Like
I love Michelle Trachtenberg too, who played that. No, not Michelle Trachtenberg. Okay. She's not. Yeah. She's not bad. No, she's not bad. But like I didn't hate Dawn. I don't have this visceral. I don't have this visual like annoyance with Dawn. Do you have siblings?
Yes.
I think, yeah. But
okay, do your siblings have friends other than your friends, or do y'all have the same friends?
Sometimes they don't.
They do, but also like I'm 10 years older than my next sibling.
Okay, me and my brother, when we were like when I was, how old are you in second grade? 7?
No, like 8, 9.
8. I was 8, and so he was like 10, 11. That's the last time we had the same group of friends. After that, he had his group of friends. I had my group of friends. Sometimes we'd be, but like after that, it's like, bro, like my life can't be your life. So Dawn should have took her ass to the middle school, high school. She should have sat at a different lunch table. You can't sit with us. That's what Buffy should have told her ass. Okay, and then she would have felt more, because it's like, I get what you're saying. I wish, because she had that black friend.
And she disappeared.
You remember that black girl who was in the class with her when she found out her mom had died? I was like,
and you ain't never seen her since.
You know who that black girl is, right?
Who?
That black girl who played her best friend. That's the girl who played the young version of Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It?
Really?
In the church.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
Anyway.
Okay.
Dawn was the Scrappy of that Scooby gang. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're right. And y'all saw the Scooby-Doo movie. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. A little Scrappy Doo.
So my opinion.
Sorry, I just will say that she was very true to like the young girl sibling. You know what I mean? And Ricky's right. Like who like knew that her sister's was a slayer on the low. So like of course she wants to tag along to everything. It's like an adventure. To her it's like nothing. You know, to her it's an adventure. It's like silly. So of course she's gonna want to be in the tag along. But like I can see how that character can be grating, but at the same time it was like true to character. You know, like that.
Yeah, I don't think it was untrue to character. I just think she was annoying.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
Her and Xander just all they did was cause problems and talk shit. You can't do both. You can't do both. You can do one or the other. Either you can talk shit or cause problems.
All right. So my opinion, you know, since we're getting finally around to me. Is that, and it's an unpopular opinion. It's not really a popular one, but my favorite season was season 2. I don't know why. I don't know why not, but I don't know exactly, because season 7 obviously was amazing. I mean, and there were so many season 5. Oh, I love season 5, even season 6, but season 2. When she stabbed him in the heart and sent him to hell, like, I'm not going to try to ruin everything about it, but like, because I'm not naming names, but like, and then the 3, you know, not the season 6 trio, but the season 2 trio.
Yes.
That trio is my shit.
They are something to behold. Like,
I have issues with that trio.
Like, because it's not really a trio. It's a quad.
It's a quad. First of all, this is my issue. Yeah. This is my issue. Darla was too big of a player to get dogged like she did in the first season. Period.
Like,
period. Okay.
Like they should have killed her in season 1. She should have got killed in season 1.
Not for how big of a, like, once you realize her history and how big of a deal she was and how dangerous she was, for her to be dealt with so easily.
Vampires.
Right? Like, bro, like y'all dealt with her way too easily.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
way too easily.
season 1 did Darla no favors.
None.
No favors.
Because what you see later on in the series or in like that Buffy universe, even with like Angel, like it doesn't compare to that cardigan schoolgirl looking Darla we saw in season 1. Like it doesn't.
But I will give her this though. She forever will be the first thing we saw in Buffy. Forever.
Yes.
Period. Whether she was big or not, she will be what started. Like when you watch the first episode, she's the one you meet. So at least there's that. Like the other thing I have a problem with that trio is this. Why was Drusilla never a threat after that? Like never again was she a threat. She's the only vampire who showed, besides Dracula, she's the only vampire who showed the powers of hypnosis. She was the only vampire who showed the ability to hypnotize people.
Yes, she did.
Yet she was never a threat after she killed Kendra.
Mm-hmm.
Never again. After that, she was basically like, if she came around and was talked of, she was just that crazy chick. I didn't like that. It's like, don't give me this terrifying person of a character and then just make them puny because Spike is a main character now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's also like the motivation behind the character.
Still is one of my main.
Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry, Justin.
No, that's fine. I like, sometimes we have to think about like what the motivation is. Like after they've had their story arc, if you don't kill them off, then what are they serving? What are they adding to? How are they being furthered by the storyline, by the plot? So I think that might have been one of those loose threads, honestly, by the writers, because you do like it's exactly that. Like between Darla, Drusilla, and even in The Master, like I just rewatched season 1, and you don't get any type of inkling how big of an issue Darla is, how big of an issue The Master is. Like, yeah, The Master is like, that main thing that kind of like fulfills the story arc at the end after all the filler episodes, but you don't have much. They don't carry that amount of gravitas that's needed to then come in later seasons to be like, oh, well, shit, what you been doing like the whole damn time, but this season, that season, now you want to act out, now you want to have some, like, come on.
I wonder what the show would have been like if those characters had came later in the series.
Now, that is one thing.
They had a proper build-up as opposed to just like, these are the initial villains in our series. Like, I wonder like how much they really could have grown and gave more background to their stories.
I think I'm on the fence with that because I think one of my favorite things about Buffy the Vampire Slayer was that the vampires were her, like she dealt with the Master in season 1. So that's what is good about the new charm. That all of the stuff that you would expect them to deal with is dealt with in the first season. So now the stuff that they have to deal with is way bigger. So every time they're dealing with a new big bad, we're like, how the fuck are they going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
We literally, there's no out. So when they finally find an out, like when they found out, oh, we just wait till he's a worm and then we blow him up. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So there's like this catharsis when they figure out how to kill the unkillable. So I do like the fact that they dealt with the vampires in like the first 2 seasons. And then after that, they moved on. But I will say, I think they could have just kept them as dangerous as they were. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if they were just every time, because until Drusilla showed up on Angel, I never felt her weight again.
Mm-hmm.
When she showed up on Angel, she felt dangerous again. But, it was different. But when she showed up on Buffy those few times, she was just like whining. And I was just like, okay. But anyway, do y'all know what we were supposed to go to next?
No, but I think I think the next thing. I'm sorry, Chris, when you get back on, but I think the next thing should be like our favorite character. Like we've been dealing with that, like in some ways.
Oh, here he is. He's back.
Okay.
My connection got dropped for some reason. Sorry. I'm back.
So what's next, Chris? Is it character?
All right. So I think we should do character. I think
we're starting to think alike.
Yeah.
I think we should do favorite and least favorite though, because if we do favorite, then you got to do your least favorite.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not gonna pick Dawn.
You're not? Okay.
No.
Fine. Rakia, let's start with you.
Okay. Let's see. Oh God. My least favorite character. Oh God.
Question: do these include villains or not, or just Just from the Buffy gang?
It should include
No, you can include villains too.
Okay. Okay.
It's character whatsoever.
Okay.
Honestly, I feel like I'll start with my least favorite. Like, I feel like my least favorite, and it's a couple of them because they're part of the same organization, would be
Here we go.
The Initiative. And I'm not necessarily talking about Riley himself. Like, Riley, an individual, is his own thing. But the Initiative is that it kind of feels like Professor Umbridge to me, where like there's hear me out. There's someone that's not really in the know, but like trying to pull their weight or like get their 2 cents in when it's really none of their business. Where like I don't know, there was something annoying about pretentious about this. Number one, this U.S. government agency that felt like they knew what to do while all these supernatural beings, whereas you have Buffy, and I'm gonna back Buffy 100% regardless.
Period.
Right, who has history and skills and knowledge that they don't have, and they're just like, no, you can join us if you want to, but
very American.
Right,
It wasn't very American.
Yes, exactly.
Wasn't that the point though?
Yes,
that is the point. That is the point.
Right, but which is why, like, I feel like that's like that whole group was like my least favorite because that's annoying as shit to watch, and it's like, and that's annoying to watch like your favorite character like to have to deal with. It's like they're just like, well, we got to. They're like, no, I've been doing this for a minute, and like there's a completely whole different like universe that y'all aren't aware of, and y'all think y'all got it, and like yes, and like that's where that was my least favorite, and then my favorite. I would have to say between Faith and Buffy. Back and forth. I love Faith. I
like Faith too, but over Buffy.
I don't know. I like the dynamic between those two,
especially the last season.
Yes, the dynamic between those two Slayers because they're so
different.
Only in the sense of like Buffy has this good girl persona when you first meet her, and then clearly like Faith looks like your bad girl Slayer, but they're 2 sides of the same coin. So that's why. That's my thoughts.
Side note. No, I'll wait. Go ahead.
Well, I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. She's done. Well, then, I guess, Duria, if you want to go next, then you go.
Oh,
okay. Hey, Jordan. Hey, man.
Hey, girl.
I know she's a Buffy fan, too. So I guess before I say mine, I want to say something like, you talk about Buffy being like the good girl. I never thought of her. I was like, Buffy is fucking a whole grown-ass man at 16. He's old, like he's 400 years old, boo. Like, fuck a 50-year-old or a 40-year-old. Like, no, for real though, she's 16 and she's getting it in with a 400-year-old whole grown man. And 400 years is a long time to do some raunchy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like when you really think about it. So she was not no good girl, bro. Buffy was a straight. Let's be clear. Wait. Buffy was a straight murderer and a sex fiend at 16. Faith just had dark hair. So
no.
Okay, Faith also a murderer at 16.
But Faith murdered that dude on accident. All I'm saying is Buffy wasn't no good girl. She was just the blonde one. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so
but I mean that's a common trope if you think about True Blood and if you think about the Twilight series. It's some little young girl and she's trying to hook up with some very older gentleman,
and they trying to make it seem like she's so freaking chick. And I'm like, bro, no, I see what you're doing, Buffy. Get it in. I'm all for it, but I'm not fooled like the rest of these. I don't get what you're doing.
I think the point is just the dichotomy between like Buffy's character being like being that person while maintaining the air of like this innocent.
But see, this is the thing about it. That was never Buffy never had the air of anything. That was placed on her by other people.
Well, that's what we're talking about here. Is that like that's that is her moniker, is that she's like this pure whatever, that she's supposed to be a good girl and things like that.
But Buffy was like somebody just wrote in the titles. Buffy was never a proclaimed good girl. Buffy got kicked out of her last school.
Well, no, girl, but you know
Buffy is an expellee. The only difference between Buffy and Faith is family. Buffy had a family. Faith did not.
Yes, she had a group. She had a group.
That's the only difference. And that's what Faith really wanted. It wasn't this good girl image. It was like, you have people that love you and I'm alone.
Yeah.
That was the biggest difference. And that was the difference between Buffy and every Slayer.
Right.
Because every other Slayer before her wasn't supposed to even tell people that she was a Slayer.
Right.
So she did it all alone. And that's why other Slayers died so early versus Buffy, who had a team. But let me say my favorite character, just Julian. Damn.
Yep. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay, my favorite character is of course Buffy. I can't even tell you. So I'm not gonna even tell you about like Buffy to me is my favorite character because she's like everything to me. Like every time she about to kick somebody's ass and she get that look on her eye, like you fucked up. You fucked up messing with me. I love that. I love everything about her. I just like watching her beat people's ass, to be honest.
And give you one line while she's doing it.
You know what I'm saying? And she's smart. She's well equipped. I think she's also a well-rounded human being, and I think she does really well. What I don't like about a lot of main characters, I think she's flawed, but she's flawed in a way where she's not preachy. I don't like my main characters being like preachy and unwilling to accept their faults. And that's what I liked about Buffy. She was also very introspective. Now, on the flip side,
in season 7, she got a little preachy.
No, she didn't. She had to because everything she said in season 7 was the truth, and them hoes couldn't take it. Sometimes you can't take the truth, so she told everybody, "Look, boo, I'm the Slayer. I'm the Slayer. It's me, bitch." And she's coming from me last, and I'm the one keeping y'all motherfuckers alive, and I'm the one who called the motherfucking shots. And as soon as they said, "Nah, you don't call shit," and kicked her out, what happened? Half of them died, and then she came back, and she didn't even say, "I told you so." Because she's Buffy, bro.
Yes, because they got real comfortable being the fact that like it was a group effort when normally it's not a group effort. It's the one.
And it's her and Willow.
Right.
And she made that very clear. When the missions went down, at first it was all her. After a while, it was her and Willow. And let's be clear, it wasn't always an equal share of the power.
No.
Buffy definitely drew from her friends, and she always made that very clear. Like, I fuck with y'all because y'all helped me, y'all saved my life, but it's me out there on the fight. And all them little potential Slayers were entitled and whiny, and I was glad when some of them got fucked up. I was happy. I was like, yes, snatch them up, snatch them, get them, get their asses, come on.
Another one's gonna pop up anyway.
Yeah, I'm grateful.
And there was an endless supply of them. But to me, okay, so that was my favorite character. Honorable mention to Cordelia Chase. Yes. Because especially her storyline, if you get to watch, especially her and Angel, I'm not gonna go into her because really her more so on. We're not gonna, but that's why I say a special shout out to Cordelia Chase and Charisma Carpenter and just okay. My least favorite character is Xander. Period. Point blank. Xander motherfucking Harris was the most useless. If it wasn't for them 5 seconds at the end of the last episode of season 6, he had no other purpose. Period. But to talk about some goddamn crayons. Okay?
And get syphilis during Thanksgiving.
Listen,
syphilis!
Did he really get syphilis during Thanksgiving?
Yes, he did.
He was funny. Don't get me wrong. Like, he was funny. He had some funny storylines. But to me, his character was so pretentious to be the only person in the group who got to get saved always. Period. You're the only person in the group who absolutely will always be getting saved. You're the only person who's always getting saved, but you got a lot to say. You got a lot to say about what everybody need to be doing. But you can't keep your ass unsaved. I mean, saved on your own. It's like
he is the comic relief.
No, comic relief my ass, because that's the difference between Dawn. Dawn wasn't preachy. This is the reason I don't count Dawn as my favorite character, my least favorite character. She wasn't preachy. She was whiny. She was annoying, as herself should be. But she wasn't pretentious. She had never looked her nose down at people like that. Xander's always talking down to somebody.
Obvious comic relief.
You chase Cordelia Chase for 4, 5, 17 years. Finally get her and cheat on her with your best friend while she got a man, even though she been looking for you the whole time. Bro, Xander Harris is trash, bro. He's a trash human being. The actor's great, though. I love Nicholas Brendan, but Xander Harris is trash. That's all I got to say.
All right, fine. All right, opinions. We like these opinions. Julian, what
Oh,
do
God,
you have an opinion?
I do have some opinions, but mine are going to be brief. I will actually agree that my least favorite character was definitely Xander. I just thought he was like corny. Like his joke, like not corny in a good way. I like corny. I am corny. But Xander's form of corny was just not my fucking cup of tea. I was just like not there for it. I didn't. He's supposed to be the comic relief. I didn't find him very funny. Like I guess like I understand like his role as a character, but I was just like, you're kind of annoying because I'm just like, just shut up. Just shut up. Whatever you're doing, just shut up. Whatever, like, because you know you're like doing stupid things that like compromise everyone else, and I'm just like, oh god, he's like that character, and it's annoying sometimes. So it's like that gets a little bit grating. But then as far as my favorite character, well, also I'm going to point out that Buffy is rife with corniness, which is totally fine.
It can be campy. The show can be campy. And
Campy is fine. I love fucking.
I love it.
That's my point. So it's like, you know, they've got a little bit. So like, we were talking about Buffy before, and he's like, oh, Buffy's like this, that, other thing. I'm like, oh, but Buffy's corny as shit. But I love that, but she's corny. I will say. But still, she is not my favorite character because it's going to have to be Willow only because I'm always there for the mage. I'm sorry.
Yes, I know, right?
Always wins. The witch always wins. Buffy is badass in all the ways that she's gonna be badass. She's corny in all the ways she's gonna be corny. She's all these fucking things. Let her be whatever fucking character she's going to be. Willow's always gonna take the cake for me because I'm sorry, but like the mage always wins. They, you know, because for me at least, that's just how that works. Because I
just go. What was it? Was it one? Was it 2 to go where they actually fought? Which episode was it? It was the first one was villains, and then it was 2 to go, right?
I know you're not asking me.
There was. Oh, I definitely wasn't asking you.
No.
Go watch the episode. Hey, Julian, like you feel like the mage always wins. Go watch the episode where they fight, and that's all I gotta say.
Well, of course she's not going to win, but then that's what I was getting at before. Where of course she was going to. Of course, Buffy is going to win. No offense in that fight. You're gonna hate me for saying it, but. Bitch, your name is on the fucking title. Of course, you're gonna win that.
Buffy loses plenty of fights. Buffy loses plenty of fights. She didn't lose that one though. That's all I gotta say.
No one's saying that you're not badass, but the mage is always the bad. I'm sorry.
Personal preference. We'll take that.
Yeah, it's my own opinion, but it's not how it works.
Personal preference. Yes, I get it.
Okay. All right, Justin.
Is it my turn?
Oh my god! Enough.
Okay, Taylor Swift, stop it.
Right.
Okay, so my favorite character is, and this might be a little weird, but my favorite character is Giles.
Ooh, yes.
I love me some Rupert. I love Rupert.
So,
he's a great character.
Especially now in like my later years in life, I'm completely that person who's just like, why y'all running around? Y'all don't know shit. You don't know what's happening. You don't know who it is or what you gotta do. What? Just go sit over there, read a book. We'll be out in 5 minutes.
That's like that. That's exactly like that meme of like all the Disney like princesses because they're all like 15, 16, 17, and then like you're an adult now, so you totally agree with the adults in those movies.
Yeah, like, except Tiana.
Right. Yeah, I promise you, Tiana wasn't a teenager. She was probably at least 20.
All I know is that King
Tiana was a grown ass woman.
But I'm saying like Ariel 16, girl, sit your ass down. Right.
And then he's got to go figure it out, and then still get beat up. And then rescue everybody because he knows what's going on. Otherwise, y'all just all dead. You're all dead. So it does, like, yeah. So I am definitely, and I've always had that like kind of like identifying factors, like the Watchers as well, like just knowing what's going on, like the training, the connections, the whatever, like that whole like aspect of knowing the lore, looking it up. And all that kind of stuff. I just love that. It really feeds into my my bookworm mindset for real. My least favorite character is, I was gonna say Xander, but y'all beat that into the ground. But I will say, and I was doing my research. Did you know that in addition, well, One of the actors that also auditioned for Xander was Ryan Reynolds.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now, if Ryan Reynolds was Xander, I don't care what they do, that's annoying.
That got me thinking. I was like,
Chris, shut up, God.
and I would have known, I would have felt completely different if it was Ryan Reynolds, because
Me
I
too.
think that kind of, he would have come with a different kind of flavor to it, and then it would have been actually funny to see like Ryan Reynolds and David Boreanaz like going at it like in the first like few seasons where like they still don't like each other, you know.
Because he was fine back then too. Yes.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds so attractive, he make me mad.
But to be honest, I think it is his wit and his like comedy that is really fucking hot.
Yeah.
I think it's just the way he delivers his sarcasm is really nice, and so it's like, oh, I think that's what makes him more
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And
sorry. Go ahead, Justin. Sorry.
I was going to say the only other thing that I wanted to mention was favorite character honorable mention is the little monster at the end who goes grr.
I love him. Yo, I love that monster.
Yes.
I thought I was the only one. Like,
no.
Mr. Robot.
It's the Uber vamp. That's the crazy thing about it.
Yes.
It's the Uber vamp.
Yes,
like,
it is.
You see, that's what I love about season 7. You see the little dinosaur thing walk past, and then finally we see like the Uber vamp in the last season. It was like, oh my god, it's the Uber vamp.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you've only seen it like on a modern like stream network or like streaming platform or something like that, it was the very next thing after the after like the outro credits, and it was like the production companies, and it's it's Mutant Enemy Productions, and it's just this white. It's got like this marker like drawing of like their logo, and it's this little paper guy who goes grr arg. And as a kid watching that, because it would just be on TV. Like it would just not skip to the next episode, like on stream.
Right.
That kind of like got ingrained in your brain. And it was the same. It was the same company who did Angel. They also did 1 or 2 other shows as well.
It's Firefly.
Wait, so they made a character? They brought
no, it's not an actual character, Julian.
No, we're just talking about it. Okay.
I'll show you after the show.
No, I know I've seen it. That's the thing. I'm familiar with it.
But yes, they did do Firefly. They did also do Firefly, but it was Buffy, Angel, Firefly, Dollhouse, yeah. And then apparently they also are currently doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So there you go.
Right. Yes, because Whedon does have.
That's Joss Whedon's production company.
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah.
Okay, so someone had mentioned, who was it? So Slayer K3 said, "Am I rude for never liking nor disliking Tara? She always fell in my neutral zone."
So let's have the Tara conversation, I guess.
So like honestly, like I don't think that's rude, because I love Tara, but I understand like she was there to kind of like push Willow along.
Yes. Can I comment really quick?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I was watching an interview for Buffy's like 20th anniversary, and that's what the writers said. They said, when they decided to kill Tara's character, it was specifically for the arc of Willow being the dark character. And so her character, I don't know if she, and it's crazy, if you really go back and watch, and now this part made me kind of tear up. She was always listed in the credits as a guest star, except for her last episode
until
where she was already dead.
The last episode.
Yeah. And then they actually put her in the credits. And I just like, first of all, why didn't they just put her in the credits? She was in 3 seasons.
Right.
3 seasons? She was like 4, 5, and 6.
2.5.
Right. But Emma Caulfield was her and Emma Caulfield came onto the show at the same time. Season 4. Yes, it was.
No,
Emma Caulfield was season 3.
Yeah, because she was still in high school.
But Emma Caulfield was a season's regular the same time Tara became a guest star. So Tara should have been a season's regular season 5.
Tara Reese.
Julian. Y'all know who that? Everybody watching. Let me tell you something about Julian. Julian's that child when company come over, that's when they show their ass.
Stop.
When company come over.
Usually like that.
It's when company come over. They just can't. I'm just talking shit.
I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry.
But
Well then, look, I'm gonna let my shit be known because I didn't get to go, so I'm gonna go. All right, so my favorite character. Nobody said this character, and I'm a little bit surprised because this character is, to me, the best character in the whole damn show, and it's Anya.
Ooh,
no, God,
love Anya, love Anya, love Anya.
I love Anya, but
Anya.
God,
love Anya.
Anya,
especially when
Bianca, both of them.
I hated the way she died. Period. Period.
Yes. Hated it. Oh God, season 7 that wrecked me. I was literally dying in season 7.
You know why it happened like that, right?
Jury just ruined it. She might die. She might. It's fine.
I told y'all from the beginning. Spoilers all the way through. So this is my thing about Anya's death. So this is how it happened. They weren't sure if season 7 was going to be the last season or not. But Emma Caulfield was like, "But I'm done after this. Like, I only want to do this. Is what I want to do." So they were like, "Fine, bitch." And what's bad about her character getting it was such a every other character that was big that died, it was like a thing. Her character, like, if you blinked, you missed her death. If you blinked.
And also, let's keep in mind that Joss Whedon is a petty bitch. So
is he?
He is. That's part of that was part of the issue with Cordelia and Angel.
Yes,
he was a petty bitch in that. Yes. Research it. Yes, he was a petty bitch.
What happened?
They had a huge falling out
because she was actually pregnant during that season.
I do know that because her face got chubby. That's how you know when she's actually pregnant.
Right. Yes. So like there was some issues with that. He's a petty bitch.
Well, so she got pregnant and then what?
He was like, well, it was probably like, oh, you can't be doing this because you're pregnant.
Right. Well, I mean, because you gotta change storylines for that shit. You gotta do it. You gotta change.
But I think they covered that very well.
They covered it well.
They did.
And let's be clear, Kerry Washington went through a whole pregnancy during Scandal. Two. And not once. And Olivia Pope stayed in them stilettos, boy. And she just a lot of ponchos. A lot of ponchos.
And a big purse.
Yep. All of a sudden, she was accessorizing like shit and wearing ponchos.
Right. But who was the main writer for Scandal? Who was the showrunner for Scandal, though?
Was that Shonda?
A woman. Yes, a woman.
A woman. Yeah, I got you.
That's true. You right.
All right. So my least favorite character.
Well, let me guess.
I would say Dawn. It's obvious. Dawn. I fucking hated Dawn. I don't know why everybody else loves Dawn.
But I love Dawn.
Okay, and I'm gonna say this answer as an alternative, and as a caveat, I will say it has nothing to do with the entire Buffy verse, because if we're just talking about Buffy, Cordelia was one of my least favorite characters in the show. Cordelia, I did not love Cordelia in Buffy. Go to Angel, we got a whole different story. We got a whole different with the whole Buffy verse.
You got all the growth in Angel. I can understand.
But here's the thing, Chris. You don't respect her growth in Angel if you don't have the way she is in Buffy.
True, but you don't like her in Buffy, and I don't. I liked
her in Buffy. I liked her in Buffy once she started dating Xander. So he was good for that. Once she started dating Xander, I really liked her from then on.
That's only because, and that's mainly because she became more involved with like the supernatural. Like she was part of the Scooby Gang by then. So like by then, like you can kind of, even without Xander, you can kind of get into her, and she was definitely comic relief.
You know what it was for me?
Those years.
For me, it was that episode when Xander was there and she was with her friends and she was like, "Fuck y'all, I'm gonna go walk and hold hands with him." That episode, like, man, I was like, I want one of those. It was just so beautiful because, especially in high school, you never saw like stuff like that.
Right.
That's why I was mad at Xander when he cheated on her.
Oh, who was that one friend of Cordelia? That the blonde
Mercedes? Not Mercedes. That wasn't her name. Her name was Harmony.
Harmony, yes.
Harmony.
Oh,
That's
That's
Yes,
the one.
hormones.
Yes, that
Hormones.
one. That would probably be like, I wouldn't say she's my least favorite, but like she's one of those ones that stood the test of time but shouldn't have.
Came out of
She lasted
nowhere.
longer.
Right. The way that she continued as much as she did. Yes.
All right. Look, we're getting a little long in the tooth tonight, but we are going to take one more small break, just a little bitty one, and y'all come back, and we may have time for one more subject.
What am I actually telling my body? And the things that our body needs to survive, you can't weigh it down with all that junk, all the chips, cookies, cakes, and pies. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. And I know for me, that's my struggle. My weakness is sweets. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I had already planned when I got this video to make a run to Del Taco real quick and get one of them sweet cheesecake bites. Let me tell y'all something. Them things will make you slap your mama. They're so good. Lord have mercy. Is that drool? Stuff done got me drooling.
That's from.
I'm sorry, that one was a good one. I haven't.
That is from the Mompreneur Plug, who is a friend of Woe Nelly Media. Her YouTube channel just hit over 12,000 viewers. No, not viewers, subscriptions. Yes. Oh, Tam.
Hey, Tam.
She's watching.
Tam.
She's watching us tonight. Hey, Tam. Hey, Tam. Tam is there. Yeah, so check her YouTube channel. It is amazing. You get a lot of comedy, but you also get a lot of life hacks, mom hacks, entrepreneur hacks. Always shows love. I love her. She's great. Check her out. Mompreneur Plug on YouTube. All right, let's do one more, y'all. Wait, is everybody do one more?
Are we what?
Is everybody free to do one more?
Yeah.
One more.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna try to make this. We're gonna try to make this a little, clipped. We're gonna everybody be concise with your answers. This was one of. This was one of the advertised questions. So we're gonna do our favorite Buffy stans. It does not have to be a Buffy and Angel or thing. Like it can be any relationship. It could be Willow Oz. It could be Willow Tara.
Oh, we about to do relationships?
Whatever. Yes.
If I knew it was about to do relationships, I wouldn't have signed up for this.
I was expecting all that.
Look, nobody watch Buffy to talk about no relationships.
Okay. Then I'll start. Okay, I'll start.
He's like this.
Okay. So, if you were in the Buffyverse, you know that the biggest question, the biggest debate
are you about to do
Bangle, which is Buffy and Angel, and Spuffy, Buffy and Spike. So here's my thing.
Or Briley. Period.
No one talks about Briley. No
period. Because at the end of the day, he counted. He was there. He counted Briley. Period.
Anyways, so I am a Buffy Angel fan from the start. I cannot I can't not claim that. I liked Buffy and Spike for a small amount of time. Like I can't hate it, but because if you've seen the show, Spike's attraction to her starts with obsession, and then I stopped feeling extremely comfortable. Yes, it was obsession.
You feel like Angel's attraction to her wasn't obsession?
It was obsession too. But
okay.
But look, the thing is with like these shows, especially with like Supernatural, it's almost like you have to completely ignore like moral standards here. But here's my thing. My problem with Spike was I didn't initially go for it because of Buffy Bot at the beginning. Buffy Bot.
That was a lie.
Right. And then right. So you got Buffy Bot.
And now when I was a kid, Buffy Bot was a lot. Now as an adult, I'm like a Buffy Bot might not.
Shut up. and then what got me like kind of like if this were real life, this would completely like maybe like turn off completely. But like even now, like I don't feel comfortable with it, but like he like assaulted her, like
he did,
and like that's where like I was quite like weary and like uncomfortable with that relationship, that ship towards the end of the series. Yes, like so Jessica says like Angel was so whiny. Yeah, I get that. But Spike was too. Spike was too.
It was very broody. It was always like, oh,
yes. He was yes, he was like if you want to talk about it, like Vampire Diaries is like straight up.
Oh, can I comment before?
Yeah.
Because I want to comment on what you just said. So this is my issue, Rakia. Everybody on the panel, could you imagine having like a real relationship right now with a 16-year-old?
No,
I would kill myself.
Right. Because at this point, we're all hitting 30.
Thank you.
30. These men, Buffy and Spike, were literally 100 times our age.
I want to comment on this one.
So to me, when you talk about Spike, the same thing that drove Spike to love Buffy was the same thing that drove Angel to love Buffy, which is why I'm Team Briley. The only person that was her age, the only healthy relationship that she had, who could actually, he didn't care that she was the Slayer. He didn't care that she was stronger than him. He probably had a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, he probably had some complex. But
towards the end, he definitely did.
Towards the end, I don't think it was that I don't think he was afraid. I don't think he had a problem that she was stronger. I think he had a problem that Spike and Angel were stronger. I don't think it was her. I don't think he was intimidated by her strength. He was intimidated by the strength of the men around her that she made him feel like he had to compete with. Now, Buffy didn't acknowledge that he was the healthiest choice for her to make. She went toward toxic at every angle when it came to her relationships. Angel was a toxic relationship because once they hit the bang bang, he went cray cray. Okay, right. Period. Sure. And that was toxic. It was always going to be toxic. Spike was already toxic. When you had this perfect choice, he's strong, he's beautiful. Riley was the most attractive of the three. Fight me. He's collegiate because I'm sure Angel and Spike back in 1920 whatever didn't go to school. You know what I mean? Maybe Spike did. He was a poet, but I think that like their relationships are all creepy. Like Angel, I always looked at that as creepy. I was like, bro, Angel, you need to be only dating like senior citizens for real.
No. Okay, so I will admit that compared to Angel and Spike, that Riley is dry. It is compared to those two, considering the drama that took place because of those relationships, because of the dynamics of those relationships of Angel and Spike. Like Riley's dry compared to them. Now, my problem was definitely towards the end of their relationship where the initiative is destroyed. He's not getting juiced up because they were juiced up. Those kids, the guys from the initiative were juiced up to be like as strong as they were. Like he was feeling some type of way about like not having that purpose anymore. And he took it out on Buffy. I feel like he did.
I think you're romanticizing Angel and Buffy's relationship a bit, but okay.
But like I said,
y'all is not being concise.
Look, okay, but let me just say this. Like I said, I did say they're like compared to the drama of Angel and Spike because there's lots of drama and because they're vampires and all this other stuff, and it's completely forbidden. Like the relationship with Riley is dry compared to that, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just the nature of those types of relationships. Like if you're dating a good guy, it's going to be completely like different than like right. Like it's definitely not the same feeling you get when you're dating like someone you probably shouldn't be with. The drama and the excitement and the
I disagree, but okay, we got to be concise.
Okay, I'm sorry. My bad, Chris. I'm sorry.
I see both. Because I totally agree with Rick. I see where Ricky's coming from because for Buffy being her age, that shit makes sense. But for us being the age we are now, it's like this shit is crazy. It also kind of like it goes hand in hand.
Which is part of the problem with a lot of these like vampires with teens shows.
Okay, so I'm gonna just keep going. Sorry, Chris, I love you to that. But I'm just gonna put mine out there because mine's quick anyway. My favorite relationship, I suppose, has to be oh man, I just lost it. No, it's that's not true. Okay, so mine would definitely be it's got to be Willow. I'm sorry, Willow, because Willow
and
Willow and her lesbian lover.
Tara.
Tara, say her name. Say her name, Julian.
Okay, Tara. Her name
What's her
is
name?
Tara. Okay, her name is Tara only because it's the landmark moment. Though that for I'm sorry, but because I'm not as much of a Buffy buff as the rest of you guys, that did resonate with me. That knowing that resonated with me, knowing that was like a first in television, a first in our social scene, like that for me, that's a big thing. That will always stick with me with Buffy. Buffy will always go down as something like that for me. Even though I might not be like the biggest Buffy fan or anything like that, I will always know because I'm sorry, they're the one and the other one is fucking Will and Grace for two guys. That's just how it is. I will always go down remembering that. You will never.
You didn't watch
forget
Queer as
that.
Folk?
I'm sorry?
You didn't watch Queer as Folk?
Queer as Folk was not on the WB. And
I'm just saying it was gay. It was very, very gay.
For local television, like, but that's not a major network, though. That's not a major network.
Not a major network. It was not shown everywhere. Like, I'm sorry, you had to pay to watch that. Sorry, but like, not everybody had that. This is a major syndicated network. This is like everyone is going to see this, no matter what.
Wasn't that the first on-screen lesbian kiss on TV?
That was Buffy and Willow, and the first gay one.
It was not Buffy and Willow. It was Willow and Tara.
Lord.
Quit trying to play him like that. God,
we keep saying the wrong shit. We gotta correct him. We have to. We're nerds. That's what we do.
Okay. So I'm sorry, but Willow and Tara. So Willow and Tara was the first, female and female kiss, and the first male and male kiss was definitely like Will and Grace. So like those will always go down in history as those things, and like as in a progressive way, and that I will always, Buffy always goes down as that. That's it. They hold that mantle. So that's my quick one as the least Buffy buff on this panel today. But
buff the Buffy.
All right.
Totally worth it.
Okay, Justin. Who you
yeah,
say?
I mean, so mine is actually the same between Willow and Tara because of the same reason, but also because I had never seen something like that. It made me just so curious about what their relationship could be. And it left a lot of room because in the past I had seen like, okay, dumb girl and dumb boy and drama and like whatever. Like, and we know that she's like, Buffy is not going to stay with this one person forever. Or if they do, it's going to be fraught with drama through the entire series. But with that, I felt like it was something so precious. Like I couldn't really put my finger on it because I had never seen it before. I didn't know what a lesbian relationship on a TV show was going to be, what it could be. And, so it held my attention for so long. And the way they treated it in scripting and acting and directing, I felt was very appropriate. I felt like it was very, very genuine. It was a quality representation of what that kind of relationship is, and it stuck with me for a long, long time. The Buffy Angel, the Buffy Spike, the Buffy, XYZ, pop quiz. Who was her first crush?
Giles.
Buffy?
No.
Julian.
No, not
even.
It's Owen.
Yes, Owen.
Season 1.
Season 1, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like an episode and a half. It's so quick, but it's the first time that she.
That's
obscure. Yes, I mean I only know it because I literally watched it yesterday. But I was like,
somebody did their homework.
I forgot this happened. Completely forgot, and she was like in her feelings about it, but she was still like, Angel had already come into the scene, so it was interesting to see kind of like how that was happening. But then by the end of season 1, like she's completely head over heels for Angel. So, but yeah, it's interesting to see that those kind of like special moments in TV. And looking back on it now, that was, I mean, this series started 23 years ago, 96, 97. So think about what that meant back then and how much exposure we have to it now. And it's just really interesting.
Okay.
And I also love Willow because Allison Hannigan, also fun fact, if you didn't know this, the show theme, the theme song is by Nerf Herder, is the name of the band. And Allison Hannigan actually turned Joss Whedon on to the band and said, they do pretty good stuff. You should do something with them for the show. It ended up being the Buffy theme song.
Look at you, Justin.
So you're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it my turn?
Okay. It is, well, except for I did want to point out the fact Jessica Winowich showed this little comment that I did want to say that is something that I wanted to see happen too. Giles and Joyce.
That would have been sweet. That would have been sweet.
That would have been so
well, I mean,
sweet.
it probably would have happened if, you know.
Shut up.
It probably would have happened if she didn't pass, I think. I think it would have happened. I definitely think I think it would have happened.
That hurt my heart.
But it sucks because that was one of the toughest things to go through, the body, but it was one of the best parts of that show. Like,
it was.
That's something Buffy couldn't fight. You know? Ugh. Okay, so my favorite relationship,
I know,
because I didn't really care for the relationships in that show. I didn't really, like, none of them interested me. They were all, like, annoying to me. I like Tara and Willow for what it was. And I think Tara and Willow's relationship, the thing I liked about it was that it didn't have a lot of drama. The rest of it, I was like, God, there's so much drama. Like, y'all are dating. Like, I'm like, if you're dating somebody and y'all got to go through all that, y'all need to be fucking with each other, period. I'm sorry. But Tara and Willow, it made sense. I was like, that makes sense. They're not going through a lot of drama. It was like, oh, am I gay? That makes sense to be drama. But then once you decide, yes, I like this woman. Okay, there's no more drama. My favorite relationship was the relationship between Buffy and Willow. Because to me, having these two like incredibly powerful women who were not intimidated by each other, they lifted each other up. They were real best friends. You know what I'm saying? They were like, I'll die for you. And the other relationships to me were very like you say, they were for the purpose of entertainment. They weren't dry. They had no complexity. My favorite moment in the whole series is after Buffy is everything that's happened. Willow comes back to America from being overseas, and she's so like nervous about it. She's invisible, and she gets kidnapped by this monster, and he like eats her stomach. And then afterward, she's like healing herself, sitting in this meditating pose. And Buffy comes, and she's been so nervous about Buffy because Buffy's like, she's afraid that Buffy's gonna hate her for being evil before, right? And so Buffy's standing at the door and she's like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm drawing energy from the earth and it takes a lot of strength. And then Buffy goes, well, I've got a lot of strength. You want to draw some from me? And then she sits on the bed with her.
Oh,
and then she draws the I was like, that to me is like the definite, like that is everything for me. I'm like, bro, like you don't have to be sexual with someone. You don't have to like
I'm really happy
to be in a like that is a relation. They're gonna be like ace boons forever.
Ever, yes.
And that's why I like the relationship between Buffy and Willow.
That's just so to be romantic.
And in that case, I do love not the romantic relationship, but like the relationship.
No, you can't take mine now. You already had
No. Because I was going to talk about the father-daughter relationship between Buffy and Giles.
That is a good relationship as well.
Because we don't see Buffy's dad like maybe one episode, and pretty much he's non-existent like for like all of the whole series, and like but Giles steps in and he's that guidance, he's that constant that she needs from a parent, and like not even just like because like she has Joyce for the while, but like with Giles though, like Giles understands that he knows.
Like he's giving her advice like over her relationships and things like that.
Right.
You know what I mean, you like I've seen that myself. Like obviously we all know
that. But he knows. But like Giles knows more than your average parents would know about your teenager's life, because not only is he aware of her personal life, but he also is aware of the secret life that she has. And so there's that bond like where she like feels like she can't keep doing what she's doing without him, but like he's just like, no, like you're fully capable, like you're like she's officially like really going to college, like you've been trained well, you know what you're doing, like you have more than what you really think you do, like you're fully capable of doing this. So like I've always loved that relationship with Buffy and Giles.
It's super endearing because it's also like, he he's one of the few people who she can go to when, because I'm sorry, we all feel lost. You know what I mean? We all know what it's like to feel lost. We all know what it's like to like go to your mom, your dad, or whatever, and just be like, oh, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? And like ask random advice. Like it's true, but like that kind of relationship is really endearing. I'm happy that you brought that up because like that's also one that a lot of people aren't privy to. There are not a lot of people who don't have good relationships and don't have a solid support system and someone to help them when they are feeling alone, when they are feeling like they're dealing with something that they cannot handle themselves. Like that happens. I think that's endearing. That's actually that was a great thing to bring up as well, because it's like that, you know, there's more than just your regular romantic relationships that we always think about. There's the ones that you have with your friends, and there's the ones that you have with your mentors. There's the ones that you know, he guided her in especially in a place where she's feeling super alone. Who's the only other person there who's going to have her back, who's going to kind of know what she's going through? It's going to be Giles, because he's been the one who's trained the Slayers before her. Like he's the only connection. He's the only other person who knows what she goes through on the daily and things like that. And so I totally for that. I love that.
Yeah,
shit.
and you know, it's interesting because there's also relationships beyond the characters themselves. Like we could go into the relationship that Joss Whedon had with the Buffy movie and how bad that was, but you know.
Oh my God! No, he didn't.
He was so mad. I was researching, right? So he got so mad on one day of shooting about all of the changes that were happening and taking place that he was not happy with. He walked off set and never came back to set.
During the movie?
The movie, when they were shooting the movie.
I did hear something about like the movie was not at all what he wanted it to be.
He was like, nah,
and I saw the movie after having seen Buffy, and I just remember being like, "This is or I did not." Like
and the movie was like 5 years. It was like 4 or 5 years before the show got picked up. So he had that cloud like
Christy
looming
Swanson.
over him.
Wait, which movie are we talking about? The
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie.
Vampire movie. Yes, okay, yes, because I've seen it. All right, I'm just making sure that we're talking about the exact same one.
Yes.
Wait,
only
but
the
okay,
company.
only because it's all right. It's right. So the movie came out after the show.
No. So
I didn't think so. Thank you. I didn't think so.
Okay, so hold on, Darian. Before
why are they getting mad if the movie came out before?
Oh no!
Like, get mad if this is the original material. What are you talking about?
Before Darian loses list. Okay, so Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, which was like, which was
seen
like.
It.
Which is like more like 80s, actually.
Yes, seen it.
Came before the show, which was with Joss Whedon for sure, but it also had like the same, the two writers, the same creators of it, or at least they were part of the show later on.
Okay, so that's
the show was Joss's brainchild.
Right.
The show was what he actually envisioned.
But the ones that created the original. Yeah, the one that created the original idea of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they still had part of, or at least they were giving credit just to the
show begins where where the movie ends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
But other than that, it wasn't similar in like style and tone.
Right, not at all. Because the movie from the 80s was definitely like campy of campy.
I guess what I
early
noticed is why would he didn't be mad about it though, because it's not necessarily his original love child. Like,
listen, no. If you have an idea and a way of bringing something, especially when you see the difference in tonality of those two projects, you absolutely understand why he was upset, because they took something that he wanted to be like, he wanted it to be campy, but he wanted it to be horror though. He wanted it to be actually consequences and fearful. Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie, I don't remember it actually being funny.
I mean, it was campy, but that's my point. But the movie was not under his sanction, I suppose. But that's my
yes,
point.
It was. It was his. It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer is Joss Whedon's creation.
Okay.
So, but in the process of things happening, sometimes you don't always have creative control if you don't have money or if you're not producing it. So now, if you're not the one funding something, you don't get to make all the choices. So he had more sway in the TV show. And if you did your homework, Julian, you would have known this.
The Kazoo. That's what it was. Okay, so it was written by Joss Whedon, directed by Fran Rebel Kuzui, Kuzui. You'll if you've seen the show, you'll always see them in the credits. Yeah. And Howard Rosamund and Kaz Kazooie. So you'll see them in the credits all the time. So they're always given credit, but it is Joss Whedon's baby. So
I see. Okay, yeah. Now that makes sense.
Right.
So even the 80s movie was Joss Whedon's baby.
Right. So
that's what I did. Real quick. But now I know. Thank you. That's the point of each hour.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick, I'm gonna give my top relationship. Well, it's not a three-way tie. Real quick. All right. So first one. Bangel. I'm always a Bangel fan. Bangel. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you, Ricky. Hey. Always a Bangel fan. Forever Bangel. All right. Number 2. I thought it was sweet when Willow and Oz were together, and I thought they were sweet.
They were.
And I was like, look, here's this redhead boy who's short and redheaded and cute and somebody likes him and that could be me one day. That could be me.
He had great one-liners.
Oz was Seth Green acted the hell out of that part. Did he not?
He really did.
Bro, I thought that's how he was for real in real life.
Honestly, that put Seth Green on the map for me was that show. I had no idea.
Seth Green did that. He did Can't Hardly Wait. He did the Scooby-Doo movies.
I know he was in a few things, but the point
American Pie. Wasn't he American Pie?
No, he was not in American Pie.
He was not in American Pie. No, but he was.
You're thinking Can't Hardly Wait.
He was in American Pie.
Where was he in American Pie, Julian? Where was he?
Wasn't he?
No, he was in Can't Hardly Wait. The movie where. He was in Can't Hardly Wait, the movie where the girl.
Buffy and Stop, guys. I'm thinking about.
He was not in American Pie. Julian, you just need to be quiet.
No. Let me Google this real quick. No. I bet you he was in it. I bet you.
And then honorable mention also Anya and Xander, because I, especially given all that backstory and Once More with Feeling, which we didn't get into because Once More with Feeling was one of my favorite episodes. And I thought Anya and Xander were cute, and that's
how do you think that was a cute relationship? He was horrible to her. He was a horrible boyfriend to both of his girlfriends. Absolutely, he was chauvinistic. He was controlling. Okay. He was domineering. All he wanted was a girl who was going to bend over and do everything for him. And baby him like his mama. And then when he finally found a girl who would do that, he left her ass at the fucking altar.
Okay, but she was a demon.
How quintessentially man of him.
She gave up her demonhood to be with this man. Xander has a track record for making women give up their lives to date him and then leaving them.
Okay. So not so much she played that feminine role. It was that. Back to what you said earlier in the episode was that he looked down on anybody. He was very because she was a demon and because she was still trying to acclimate herself even well into the series trying to acclimate herself into this human world. He looked down on her
all the time,
and it could kind of play off he's trying to help her. No, he was silently dogging her about her inability to blend in. So
he would literally drag her in front of him. Yes, he would because she was a demon and she's so old and she had never really been acclimated into human life because she never had to. Now she didn't have her powers, so she was trying to get used to human things. And instead of helping her, he would always make her the butt of the joke. And she still wanted to be with him. Fine.
Right.
So, bro, that last episode is what got me when he left her at the altar. That's when I was like, I'm done with Xander. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. I'm
But-
sorry. I mean, I just can't with Xander. Like,
But-
he's
Okay, all right.
horrible.
I stand corrected.
I know.
No, you can have your favorites. I just had to talk
Okay.
shit about it.
And also the problem with Xander, he's definitely that quintessential like I'm a nice good guy. Why don't you like me? Type character.
You mean he's Ross from Friends?
Right. So like that was yes, that was the problem, especially when he was so into Buffy. Like, I'm this nice guy. Why don't you like me? Da, da, da. Dude, she just got into you and deal with it and move on. But this is one girl right here that's really into you, and you're not paying any attention to her because you're too focused on the shiny new thing that just showed up 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
But whatever.
And just to confirm, no, Seth Green was not in American Pie. You're thinking of
wasn't.
Chris Owen, who played Sherman, who was also redheaded.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I googled it. I couldn't remember either. It was somewhere in. I think he played in one of those other kinds of movies, like that.
Can't Hardly Wait.
He was the son of Flowers.
Sure.
Listen, no, it's the movie called Can't Hardly Wait, where
Yes,
him
I
and his
remember
childhood best friend get locked in the bathroom and they end up losing their virginity to each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's
Allison
good.
Hannigan
Us
was
redheaded
in
guys.
American Pie.
Allison Hannigan was, yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for Nick
Redheaded guys
Grayson.
unite. So,
Yes. Thank you for Nick Grayson for like throwing up all the he's been throwing up all the Buffy quotes. So like something that I really loved about Buffy was how quotable it is. Like I was one of those geeks that had like they like sold like little books of the different quotes, and like me and my friend in middle school would just like sit and like highlight and mark our favorite quotes from the show. Like that's what I'm seeing right now from Nick Grayson. Thank you. Just saying.
They had a whole book.
Thank you.
Several books. Several books.
There was a whole series of them.
Like there's a bunch of books, like just like unauthorized, whatever. Just like people just like it was so good.
Yeah.
Something to piggyback off of that
All
as
right.
well. This is my last thing. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The show is actually currently on Amazon Prime Video. So if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can watch it. It's included. It's free. But the interesting thing about it is they have built-in trivia on the app. So while you're watching the series, they have like every episode, they have like a little trivia like on your phone on the app, and it gives you like fun little information. Sometimes it's like a continuity error. Sometimes it's like, did you know this actor told whatever. Like that's where I've kind of gotten some of these little interesting nuggets while I was doing research beyond Wikipedia. But I found it really interesting that a streaming platform would do that. So props to Amazon for doing that and making it
Even though I
interesting.
hate Amazon. Oh, speaking of which,
Yeah.
if you no, because we're talking about Amazon. Amazon released a commercial kind of recently. It's a COVID one. It's called "The Show Must Go On." Amazon, "The Show Must Go On" commercial. You will be fucking crying by the end of it because it's really like it's heartfelt. It's really nice.
Aww.
But I hate it because I'm like, fucking Amazon, man. They like treat their workers so terrible. But here they are, killing it on the marketing because that's where they're throwing all their money instead of at their employees. They're throwing it at the fucking marketing.
Look, I don't have time to cry. I don't have time to cry.
Like a commercial, but bitches aren't getting paid for their fucking labor. Nonetheless, it's really good. So take the moment and watch it because it's kind of awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Could you vague that up a little for me more? I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
Big it up. I thought I was being really specific.
I'm kidding.
That's the point.
Okay, but we have definitely run out of time, guys. I'm so sorry. This has been so much fun. I think we could definitely have another episode because I've got so many more topics to talk about. So many more topics that we didn't even get to. But
We're gonna have one on
so
Angel.
fun. I mean, I think that's a definite possibility because
I haven't seen another podcast do
watched
anything
all of
about
it.
Angel. It's always Buffy.
It is. That's true.
I mean,
Hey.
she's bigger than Angel, but
we could do.
You don't know?
Some of my favorite character arcs actually come from Angel. Cordelia.
We won't-
Can we just say Cordelia?
Cordelia was that show. Period, bruh.
We won't talk. We won't talk about Connor. We won't talk about Connor.
God. Most hated character in the Buffyverse. All right. So I think the next time that we are getting together, it's going to be 2 weeks from today. And is it Ricky? Ricky, are you hosting the next one?
Yes, I am. And so like this one will Joss Whedon has a little experience with this, but it's the shows that were ended before their time. Your shows that lasted maybe a season or two. And they were fantastic.
Shows
and
canceled before their time.
Yes. And
I hate this episode. The reason I love this episode, but I hate it, every show that I'm going to mention, no one's going to know. That's why, like the shows that Rakia's good at this stuff. Rakia's gonna pick shows that everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, yeah, that show did get ended too quickly. And I'm gonna say it, and people are like, I guess it didn't end too quickly because no one knows that show.
That's the joy in it though. Like that's part of it. Yeah. So like someone said, like,
ooh, we should get clips. I wish we could play clips without copyright infringement issues.
Right.
Oh, that sucks.
Like don't touch the bean in apartment 23. Yes. So like, but
back in the day, YouTube, not these days, not 2020.
But like, there's so many shows that specifically meet that geek era that ended before their time. Like they had really great storyline, and then they were shut off because it's a niche area. It's a niche, so
right.
like it happens, and I hate it. Joss Whedon would know a couple of things about that. So
he only knows like one or two.
Yes,
and those shows weren't good. Those shows weren't good.
No.
We'll talk about it.
Shut your effing mouth.
Because it's time to go.
Okay,
go ahead.
Thank you so much for tuning in with us. Thank you, Justin, for being a part of our cast tonight.
Me?
What?
Justin.
Justin, don't leave. Stay with us forever. Okay.
I'm gonna do this forever now.
And be sure to tune in with us next time. Thank you so much for geeking out this night, guys, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.